you want to come off methadone and you want to use buprenorphine, Subutex or Suboxone. How do you do it? Here's the problem with methadone. Methadone can have a half-life. That's roughly the amount of time it takes the drug to be metabolized to 50% of its level. Methadone could be in some people, between 8 and 59 hours. By and large, it takes 6 or 7 half-lives to fully metabolize out a drug, so it's not biologically active. So with methadone, you need about 10 days off methadone before you can really start buprenorphine. Why is that? Well, if you were on methadone and you took buprenorphine, the affinity for the buprenorphine for the opiate receptor is dramatically more than methadone. So what happens is, if you're on buprenorphine, the buprenorphine will come into the system, it'll grab on the receptors, it'll push all the methadone off the opiate receptors, but the buprenorphine does not stimulate the receptor equal to the buprenorphine. So what that means, that individual will precipitate an acute withdrawal. He'll kick off all the high potency opiate methadone, which stimulates the opiate receptor and gives you that feel-good feeling, and be put on buprenorphine, which is not a true opiate, which is an opiate agonist antagonist, means it turns it on and off and doesn't fully stimulate it. That's a problem. So how do you handle that? Well, one thing you can do, there's 2 ways around this, and I've seen both tried, and one means you go off the methadone and you substitute an opiate. You go on like oxycodone for 7 days, and then you go into withdrawal from the oxycodone for maybe 4 days, 3 days, and then start the buprenorphine. Or I've seen some people take in a 4-to-1 ratio. If you're on 100 milligrams of methadone, take 400 milligrams of oxycodone for 9 days, stop it, clean yourself out of the oxycodone for 24 hours, and then start buprenorphine. Or I've seen this, and this one can be a little stressful. Stop the methadone, wait as long as you can, which most people can usually make about 2 days, 3 days before they're totally miserable, using clonidine, Robaxin, benzodiazepines like Klonopin, Ativan, Xanax, using mirtazapine to sleep. Use every drug possible to make yourself comfortable. Hold out as long as you can off the methadone, using these ancillary drugs to delay the time, letting that drug metabolize out. Take high-dose vitamin C. When you acidify the urine with cranberry or high-dose vitamin C, it enhances the secretion of methadone out of the system, so keep your body acidic. Just take like 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C twice a day. That works. Drink as much water as possible and eat a lot of protein. Eat meat. It helps constipate you and it helps turn the urine acidic. So you do all this, drink water, eat meat, take vitamin C, hold the methadone for as long as you can. Use the ancillary meds, Klonopin, Ativan, Xanax, Robaxin, which is a muscle relaxant. I've had some people use Lomotil, which is it's a locally acting opiate just in the gut. That can help stop the diarrhea. You can use mirtazapine to help you sleep, calm your anxiety. Massive dose of clonidine, 0.2 milligrams 3-4 times a day, because your blood pressure will spike. You'll be miserable during this. This is no walk in the park. I've done this before. Using opiates is, in today's day and age, is not acceptable anymore. It's the most comfortable way to do it. 9 days of opiates, 1 day off opiates, then begin your Subutex. It's pretty clear. It turns into an opiate detox because the methadone's metabolized out. This other way I'm talking about, stop the methadone, kind of suffer, use ancillary meds to make yourself as comfortable as possible, hold out as long as you can, and then at some point, day 6, knowing the methadone is still there, you can use massive doses of buprenorphine. Maybe you have to do 3 4/8 in the morning, 3 4/8 in the afternoon for 24 hours, simply to make the conversion to the buprenorphine. It requires high dose buprenorphine for the first 24 to 48 hours, and people can become miserable. You can precipitate a withdrawal where that person starts kicking their legs, they're very uncomfortable in the bed, they start ripping the sheets off the bed, they're miserable. So, but it's doable. You can minimize all that with this secondary method I'm talking about. It's possible. I've seen some people go into hospitals, they're on methadone, they give them buprenorphine. It's horrible. They're miserable. Anyway, that's kind of the gist. I had some questions about that, how it could be done. That's how it could be done. I give you a couple ways. Coming off methadone is not fun. Even when people are off methadone, I've had them 6 months later, they still can't sleep. They're still anxious. 6 months after being off methadone. My best advice is never go on methadone. I can't stand that drug. I would say Xanax and methadone are my two least favorite drugs in all the pharmacopoeia. Those are two to be avoided. Xanax causes withdrawal seizures, and methadone is a horrible withdrawal. And the post-acute withdrawal, 6 months, 8 months down the road, even years down the road, people feel anxious, can't sleep, they get depressed, they're not happy. I'd appreciate if people like this video, subscribe, like, leave a comment. I appreciate it. Go to Amazon.com, buy my book, Tales from the Couch. Thank you.